Perhaps the most mysterious character in Paramount Plus' MobLand is Lara Pulver's Bella Harrigan, whose global plot and ultimate purpose have remained a mystery until the conclusion of episode 9. Before becoming Kevin's wife at the age of 20, Bella was one of Conrad's consorts, therefore her history with the Harrigans is confusing. An important detail is missing from that story, and it might have to do with Kevin's other brother, whose identity was disclosed near the end of episode 8. Aside from her history with the Harrigans, Bella is involved in what is arguably the most enigmatic plotline in MobLand's contemporary setting. Thus far, she has been depicted negotiating with Antoine, a Frenchman who is interacting with Bella on behalf of an unidentified customer. Although the specifics of his position are still unknown, Bella's father, a businessman with ties to the government's halls of power, is also somehow implicated. The name of Antoine's customer was disclosed in episode 9, but sadly, Bella's true motivations are still unknown. In episode 9, Bella ultimately arranged the meeting she had been attempting to arrange through her father's government contacts, and it ended up being a sit-down between a sanctioned Syrian arms dealer and the Home Secretary of the United Kingdom. One of the most powerful members of the cabinet in the United Kingdom is the Home Secretary, who is in charge of immigration, national security, law enforcement, and MI5, military intelligence, officially known as the Security Service. In other countries, the Home Secretary is the equivalent of the Interior Minister, and in the United States, the Secretary of the Interior. Even after 9 episodes, it's still unclear how Bella would profit from introducing the Home Secretary to an arms dealer, but it does appear that she may make a significant sum of money if an agreement is made to permit the importation of weapons into the United Kingdom. It might also be her attempt to slink her way into a position of authority and government ties, much like her father did. Bella might be able to escape Conrad's control in this way. It appears that there is much more at risk than just financial gain given the amount of work Bella has put into organizing the conference. Harry has repeatedly advised her not to become involved, presumably because she is out of her depth, but she has consistently disregarded his counsel. She had already demonstrated it when she needed to hire Harry as a fixer to get rid of a damning piece of blackmail from Antoine. She is probably after influence and authority that would give her leverage over the Harrigans, as seen by her readiness to venture into more challenging waters. Her involvement with a Syrian arms dealer and Conrad's 2 main sources of income, transporting firearms and drugs into and out of London, are not coincidental. In order to obtain leverage against Conrad, Bella may be attempting to use Conrad's competition for guns to put herself in a position of authority. She becomes a far more crucial component of the Harrigan's operation if she has intelligence or influence over how his rivals run their business. On the other hand, she could blow up their entire operation, since Bella doesn't seem to have much of a purpose now that the Home Secretary has met the arms dealer. The whole thing could blow up in her face. As a Guy Ritchie-produced show, it seems likely that Bella's scheme ties into the grander narrative of MobLand, but so far it seems purely problematic. The true nature of Bella's scheme has remained clouded, almost frustratingly so after 9 episodes of MobLand. Its confusing nature could be intentional, as it shows that Bella herself doesn't have a firm grasp on what she's meddling in. Since Kevin was finally free to face Rusby, his former jailer and tormentor, he was noticeably missing from the negotiations. In order to carry out her own dubious schemes, his wife was likewise able to slink out of the Heragan Manor. Ultimately, at Conrad's invitation, Jan's friend Alice, the informant who now works for Colin Tattersall following the deaths of Fisk and Mikasa at the end of episode 8, arrived at the manor for supper. Conrad and Maeve ended themselves handcuffed as the lunch collapsed with a huge reveal and was cut off by a tactical squadron with air backup. That strategy has an intriguing twist in that Tattersall is collaborating closely with Richie Stevenson, who is really in charge. Richie wants Colin to get Conrad and Maeve into any type of jail so he can kill them himself. He has no intention of letting them rot away in a cell. Richie was more than happy to work with a dishonest detective like Tattersall to finally get his retribution because Conrad and Maeve had both his son's and wife's blood on their hands. Maeve joyfully bursts into song as they are being dragged from their house, and Conrad quickly follows. A traditional Irish folk ballad called 20 Men from Dublin was penned by Arthur Griffith in the early 1900s, and it is the song they sing together as they are placed onto police vehicles. Maeve and Conrad would have grown up listening to this well-known combat song in Ireland, which alludes to the Irish guerrilla insurrectionists who fought the British Crown in the Irish Rebellion of 1798. It's a statement of defiance against the cops for them.